I got Bad Bunny, tribal sorting, and why all of this halftime show nonsense is actually going to end at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania! No way!
But before I do, I'm going to start here. I have an FYI and a news flash, and this might actually shock you. Did you know, even in 2026, you're allowed to have your own opinion on the halftime show? Like, do people know that? I'm genuinely concerned that apparently people don't know this. Even on something as, serious as Bad Bunny performing music in the middle of a football game.
I'm super serial.
You did not have to have this pre-locked, preloaded, preordained view on how that show went. I mean, you could be conservative.
Immigrants, illegals.
And you could like Bad Bunny's music and like the performance. You can be progressive.
Obama!
And think the performance was just kind of okay or mid. You can support immigration reform and think the show was absolutely terrible.
This show sucks.
Do you hear what I'm saying? You were allowed to have your own opinion. I know nobody lets you believe that.
I don't think that's true.
I'm still pretty sure, even in this year, critical thinking and having your own opinion on things is allowed. But apparently not online. Everything was an allegiance. I'm going on social media. I'm seeing 80-year-olds pretending like they were suddenly the biggest Kid Rock fan in the world. And then I got 18-year-olds on the other side, and they were just crying their eyes out before the first Novia even came out. Like the halftime show was somehow more moving than the end of Coco and Marley and Me combined. It was just so clearly performative and forced on both sides. It just kind of... I always roll my eyes at this stuff, but I just think it's worth re-mentioning. It's okay. Like, you don't have to...
He's said on all sides by idiots.
The good news is, like I said, we have a stage for this that is perfect. WrestleMania and versus the Paul brothers. This is actually going to happen. I am making this prediction, and I am 97% sure I am right on this. In case you missed, in all of the fallout, the Paul brothers got into it on Twitter about the Bad Bunny show. Jake... being Jake, called for a boycott, even said that Bad Bunny was, quote, a fake American. And then Logan Paul, smartly came to his defense and publicly checked his brother and said, dude, you understand Puerto Ricans are Americans. Ding dong, like that. I am a dumb that was its own kind of funny thing there. But man, internet has taken over and people were talking back and forth. Tweets were scrubbed, and then Jake being Jake put on his bio account that he's Benito's #1 fan now. But also, this cuts to in the wrestling world, and I love me some wrestling. On Monday Night Raw and pay-per-views, there's been this masked attacker. It's this cliche thing they've been doing for a while, but they have this masked guy come in, and he causes all sorts of disturbance with Logan Paul's little faction he's in called The Vision. And a lot of people, not just me, are saying, how perfect would that be if that's Bad Bunny? How perfect would that be? This masked who is it mystery man leading up to WrestleMania and the Pauls fighting on Twitter. How cool would that be if they make the reveal of that Bad Bunny? Because also, if you don't know, Bad Bunny is not just a good singer. This is where I know him and love him, is from the wrestling ring. He is arguably the best celebrity to ever enter the wrestling ring, hands down. This kid is phenomenal. He's done some pay-per-views. I remember he did in 2023, he did a street fight in Puerto Rico. This guy can do like Mexican destroyers. He can do flips. He can do all sorts of stuff, like the things that a lot of WWE wrestlers train for years. Bad Bunny was a natural. And of course, he's a showman. So, I mean, he really can put it all together. He is arguably, I don't even think arguably, he's at least Rushmore of the best celebrities to ever enter that world and perform on a real stage. And he just said recently in interviews and stuff, he's been dying to come back to the WWE. It's like a virus, man. These guys, once they get it in them, ask Jelly Roll. This is something they really love doing. And so, dude, I'm seeing all the stars align here. This huge cultural fight. You got the Paul people on Twitter going back and forth. Then there's a mystery masked man who we don't know who it is. We got a big WrestleMania coming up, which, by the way, ticket sales have not been up to snuff. That's also got to be put into all my puzzle and equation here. It's in Vegas and is way too expensive, and they're having a hard time selling tickets right now. So, cultural flashpoint, Twitter war, a masked mystery angle, WrestleMania ticket sales softer than expected, Logan Paul not just tweeting against Jake, but also teasing a big money match. I don't think this is coincidence. I think we're actually going to see Bad Bunny and Logan Paul somehow either together or versus each other at WrestleMania, and I am all for it because this is what, to me, as a wrestling fan,
Wrestling is awesome!
this is what wrestling has always done going back to the 70s and 80s. And if you don't know, I'll just let you know right now. WWE has always been a good reflection or mirror of whatever the country is going through and arguing about. That has always made the best good guy, bad guy, and turned into a match because it creates natural heat. They call it heat in the WWE. But going back to the 80s and 70s of the Cold War, we had Hulk Hogan versus Iron Sheik that pissed all sorts of people off. Sergeant Slaughter famously turned defector and said he liked Iran for a while. That poor bastard had to wear bulletproof vest because he was so scared of the heat that he got. Bret Hart was this interesting cultural divide because he was Canadian, so he was supposed to be a bad guy. He'd be a hero in Canada. He'd be a villain in America. They've actually already done the immigration angle. People don't know this. About 10 years ago, Jack Swagger, Alberto Del Rio, there was this match that kind of focused on the immigration beef. Wrestling has always been kind of a funhouse mirror for American tension. And so Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul, or Bad Bunny and Logan Paul versus Jake Paul and some other opponent is just too perfect. And I'm actually, as a fan, I wonder if all the Twitter stuff was part of a work. For people that don't know, in wrestling terms, a works is when they pretend to be something is real, but it's actually fake. In wrestling terms, that's called a work. Give you a little education to you non-wrestling dorks like me. So I wonder if even afterwards, Logan and Jake going at it publicly on the internet was not part of a work that's going to lead to a WrestleMania match, which would be even smarter if it did. So I really, there's a lot of outcomes and a lot of ways we can go here, but I'm going to stick to this prediction. I'm feeling good about this, that I think Bad Bunny is somehow going to get tied into WrestleMania. I think the masked man angle is the best way to do it and put him against the Paul brothers. And just to close, man, look, the halftime show was not ever supposed to be a loyalty oath. It was supposed to be entertainment. And you're allowed to think for yourself. Even as something as earth-shattering as a halftime show, you were allowed to have your own opinion. But since we can't, since we still struggle with that, since we want tribal warfare, I say we settle it in the ring, under lights, WrestleMania, Las Vegas, Paul, Bad Bunny, let's get it on. And once again, I'll have something fun to watch over the summer.
Tricky Guy Sports.
Full episode online now. Click on the link. Get to the chopper. Do it now.